Everybody, it's Rod from Civil Advantage Firearms Training here, and today we're going to talk about the CZ858. The CZ858, as usual, by the way, just a buy don't buy review. CZ858 is a center fire semi-auto rifle, shoots 7.62 by 39, a lot of that around, right, all that military surplus ammunition. It is Canada's AK-47, and I say that because it looks like the AK-47, but mechanically is completely different. And in a lot of respects, it's actually better than the AK-47. It's extremely reliable, uses a short stroke piston gas system on it. So that means that the piston, it isn't in an actual tube, it's exposed under this, in fact, let me see if I can pull this out. There it is. There's the gas piston right there. So there's no channel in here where the gas piston is, it's totally exposed. And when this gas piston comes back, actually gases are released into the handguard, which is kind of neat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop real quick and cut in a little bit of footage of me shooting this thing, and you can see the gases actually coming out of the handguard as I'm shooting. So check it out. So that was pretty interesting. You can, at least it looks like it to me, that those gases are coming out of the handguard. As you can see, you can shoot real quick with the gun. And if you looked at the slow motion footage and you look at the recoil that this rifle, even for shooting such a large cartridge, fine, it's not a hunting cartridge, right? But still, it's pretty large for a fighting rifle. Even with that large cartridge, the recoil is quite manageable. So this is a really reliable, smooth shooting gun. So really happy with that. You know, really happy with my decision to buy it. So I did procrastinate a little bit when I was thinking about these rifles, only because I didn't want to start another weapon system, meaning that I have to buy new mags and, you know, change the way that I shoot a rifle, because it, you know, you don't shoot it like an AR. As you can see, when you change mags, you go high port, you reach around, you operate the handle. You know, it's a tilt locking system, like an M14, AK-47. So it's very different, but you know what? I'm really glad that I bought it. Great for shooting in the bush. This is non-restricted. That's a big deal. Cool thing is it comes with 30 round mags, right? So if they ever change the regulation, remember it's a regulation, not a law. If we can ever convince people to change it, won't impact public safety at all, but then at least you have your 30 round mags. You can pull these pins, ridiculous pins out of there, and off you go. What's really cool about CZ is they are shipping these rifles with 4 mags, right? Who does that? These magazines are just these horrible high margin tag-alongs that you have no choice but to pay these ridiculous prices for this tiny piece of metal. This rifle is $699 with the 4 mags, but with rifle mags, like if you were to buy for like a CZ858 or something like that, the mags are $60 or an AR-10, 60, 70 bucks for a mag. It's ridiculous, right? So anyway, it just kills me to spend money on mags that are overpriced. But speaking of a good deal, if you're looking for a good deal to get these mags, a company called GP Tactical in Alberta has them. And I think they're about 28 bucks if you buy them one at a time. Or if you buy 5, they're 25 bucks. So the reason I'm giving these guys a plug is because I did buy some stuff from them and their service was awesome. So they get a free plug, and hopefully you guys, if you're looking for magazines for your VZs or your CZs, you can get them at GP Tactical. They're military surplus mags, so they're not brand new. But you know what? I had a problem. The reason why I'm telling you about this is I had a problem with one of those mags. They sent me a replacement right away. Sent them a picture, said, here, look at this thing. And right away, you know, quick phone call, and that was it. They made good on that deal. So really happy with that service. So in any case, the mags are inexpensive. As I mentioned, it comes with 4, so that's awesome. That means when you pull this rifle out of the box, you're having fun already, right? In Canada, with 5 rounds in a magazine, if you only had 1 mag, it's going to take you 2 days to go through 200 rounds. You know, with a semi-auto rifle, that's not what you want. You want to do some shooting, change some mags, run around, act like an idiot. Always being safe, of course. But you know, it's no fun when you don't have a lot of mags. Always, the first rule though is if you buy a new rifle, you get into a new weapon system, like I did with the CZ858, always budget money for extra mags. You have to have at least 6 for every rifle that you own. You have to have enough to lose 2 and still have 4. So 8 is actually better. So if you can have 8 mags for every rifle that you own, you're in good shape. What else can I tell you? It's got a milled receiver. It is not stamped, so it's milled. Seems pretty sturdy. The rifle itself is really light for having a solid piece of steel for its receiver. CZ858s tend to be a little bit lighter than VZ57s. Is it 57 or 58? Anyway, I'll correct that on the video for myself. In any case, VZs tend to be a little bit heavier. These are really, really light rifles for how heavy they look. Something else about CZs and VZs is that you have a bolt hold open when the magazine's empty. That's something you don't have in an AK-47. And how that works is there's a little ridge right here in the magazine where a piece of the follower comes up and holds the bolt open. So that's an improvement on the AK-47 itself. So super easy to disassemble this thing. Something you should know is it does not have a chrome lined barrel. So if you do buy one of these and you're using that military surplus ammunition, that ammunition's awesome, but make sure that you clean this gun. You have no choice but to clean it pretty much every time if you want it to last for a while. Other than that, they're really robust, relatively accurate. One complaint I have though is that accessories do cost a little bit more than your AR because these guns are a little bit more rare in North America than an AR. So you don't have like 50 million companies making sling mounts and making sight mounts and everything else that and forends and all the accessories. So that market's a little smaller, stuff's a little more expensive. Speaking of sights, you really can't mount anything on this gun without buying something. That's kind of the problem. So for me to mount a scope on this thing, I have to buy a new forend. Fab Arms makes them. They're really cool looking, but then I can use a pistol scope or at least a rifle scope with a really, really long eye relief to be able to get a full view through the scope at that distance. But in any case, you can get a forend that'll accommodate that. I've seen guys, my buddy Claude will come and do a show with us, and he'll bring a bunch of his VZs. He's a VZ fanatic. But you can have a gunsmith put scope mounts and stuff up here over the receiver. The problem is the receiver is very similar to an SKS, where when the bolt comes back, the receiver is wide open, and the rounds are being ejected like that instead of being ejected to the side like an AR or an XCR or those types of rifles. So that's the story about that. Another thing, I don't like the sights. I'm really not a fan of open sights other than on a pistol. It takes forever for me to line this rear sight up at the front post because the cut in this rear sight is really, really thin, and just not a big fan of open sights, but that's what you end up with. So as I had mentioned, this thing shoots really great. It is $699, so how can you go wrong? It's non-restricted in Canada. You do have to deal with this unwieldy, horrible long barrel, but I guess it's just a fact of life for now. But other than that, totally recommending the CZ858. If you want a gun to go shoot out in the bush and show some watermelons, who's boss, show some propane tanks that you're not to be trifled with, that's what we got this baby for. So be a lot of fun. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, just general blabbery, feel free to comment down below. I really appreciate you guys all watching. And that's it for the CZ858, and we will see you next time.